Today, I'm gonna solve those problems for you and help you be a little bit more prepared for your interview process. Now, for anybody and everybody going for an interview, I think there's a couple key things that are extremely important that will give you a huge advantage and will get you hired over almost anybody, and that is the ability to figure things out, right? That's being a problem solver. That's being able to come up with a solution. Now, what does that mean? It means you don't let things get in your way, right? You say be a problem solver. People say these keywords and these buzzwords all the time, but what does that really mean? It means you don't let something stop you. You don't let anything get in your way. Whenever you're trying to do some type of like robot programming and you get to a point where you don't know how to do this function, or you don't know how to write this type of code, or it's not functioning in the way that you want it to function in. Again, it doesn't matter really what the particular thing is that you're doing, but it matters that you take the necessary steps to try to figure it out. And also to not immediately just go to a supervisor and say, hey, I'm stuck, can you help me? Right? They want to be able to hear things like, I'm going to go through the documentation and read it. I'm going to, try to just do some research on forums and just read some other literature to help kind of get through this problem, right? There's a ton of resources out here these days. You have YouTube, you have Reddit, you have just Google search. There's all kinds of forums. There's the documentation that is getting much better as the years go along. And so there's ways that you can really troubleshoot and try to find the solution to a problem. And I think it's really something that is missing from a lot of people who are coming to the table these days. There's even a lot of people who may have some good skills, but they're not really showing that they can be a troubleshooter and be the type of person to figure it out, right? So if you can be the type of person to figure something out and just be willing to do whatever it takes, right? To be that person that says, you don't want to be that type of person that says, that's not my job. I don't know how to do that. I've advanced so far along in my career because I've taken on new opportunities and because I said, oh, okay, you need somebody to program the robot, I'll program the robot, I'll figure it out. You need somebody to do risk assessments, I'll do risk assessments, I'll figure it out, right? And through that, I learned to do so many different things. Like some of my technical skill sets are PLC programmer, robot programmer, risk assessments, safety system engineering. These are just a few things, project management. So these are things that I've gained throughout my career by just taking on more and more responsibilities and helping fill those gaps, right? But that also is what gave me the opportunity. And it's the same thing that's going to get you the job whenever you're going through the interviewing process. If you're going to explain these things to your interviewer, then light bulbs are going to go off in their head. They're going to be like, man, we have a great candidate. We need to hire this person as soon as we can. So convey these things, right? And how can you convey these things? Literally, it's just the expression that you can do that. Just verbally saying, look, if I run across X problem, I will solve it. I'll go to Google, I'll go to forums, I'll go to YouTube, I'll go to blah, blah, blah. And then if I can't go to there, I'll go to Billy Joe, the other worker guy, the other programmer, and get his inputs on it, right? And then maybe another person. If none of those can still help me, then I'll maybe go to my supervisor, or maybe I'll call a friend. Like any of these things, just showing that you have these steps, and right, notate down those steps. So within this field, troubleshooting is hands down, it's one of the most valuable skill set. Just the ability to figure things out. It's just a valuable skill set in general, but being able to just convey that you can do those things, it's going to land you jobs in any and every career that you try to take on. But there's some other things that you can definitely learn that are more on the technical side of things, that if you can convey those, it's also going to give you an edge. And what may that be? So it kind of depends on what particular path you're trying to go down. Let's say it's programming, right? Then maybe it'll be something along the lines of, I've written some code in the robot, I've been able to do some loops, and let's say for instance, maybe you were able to get more advanced, I was able to do some palletizing things, or really just being able to have the ability to name off some key things. And this is gonna be the very beginning of your career, and you probably haven't had much work experience. If you have, then hopefully some of those things will convey over. But even being able to, mention things like, I know what a PLC is, I know what a robot is, I know what Ethernet communication is. And some of these things are a little bit more on the control side of things, but what a robot end of arm tooling is, I know what a conveyor is, I know what a three-phase motor is, I know what a servo is. So these are some of the technical things that will be very useful, automation or manufacturing company, for you to know these type of skills, right? So at least if you can identify those items, they'll be, okay, they know something, right? So that's one of the key things, right? Being able to figure anything out is hands down the number one skill.